What's going on, team? It's Caddy with Money Investing. I hope that you all are having an amazing day. So in this video, we will do a technical analysis on American Airlines Group. Their ticker symbol is AAL, as you guys can see right here. Now, this is my TradingView platform, and this is what I use to do all my technical analysis, look at my stocks, my patterns, create watch lists, create alerts. You want to get started with this platform, the link is going to be down in the description below. So with everything that's going on, we already know that airline industry has taken a huge hit when it comes to the valuations, the fundamentals, their earnings, travel demand, and the stock prices. A lot of these airline companies have seen a severe decline in their prices, and it didn't help when Warren Buffett came out and said that he's dumping his entire positions on the four biggest airlines in the United States, American Airlines being one of those stocks, along with United Airlines, Southwest, and Delta. So looking at it from a technical standpoint, before everything happened, American Airlines was trading at around $30, and since then they've gone down about close to 71%, which again is a very significant drop. And right now they're trading at around $9.89, which is a very inexpensive price for American Airlines. So that is also their 52-week range. If you guys can see right here, they hit a low of about $8.25. And that was back on May 14th when they hit a low of about $8.25, which was also their 52-week low. So where is the pattern going? Where is the stock going now? I want to share a couple articles with you guys. The first one is going to essentially talk about American Airlines and where the analyst forecast is and what the price target is for the stock based on all these different analyses and where Wall Street thinks the price is going to go in the future. All right, guys, so the first article is from CNN Business, and this is the stock price forecast for American Airlines Group, ticker symbol AAL. And it says 15 analysts offering a 12-month price forecast for American Airlines Group have a median price target of about $10 with a high estimate of $27 and a low estimate of $1 per share. So that right there, you can see what the price forecast is for American Airlines with a high of 27, low of $1, and right now with a median of about $10, which gives it a little bit over 1% in the upside. But now if you look at their current quarter forecast, they are expected to report a negative $7.70 earnings per share, and their sales are estimated to be $1.5 billion. Now, obviously, the travel demand has gone down significantly due to COVID. Nobody's traveling. Everybody's been urged to stay indoors, and there's been proper restrictions in place when it comes to countries and their borders. So it poses a challenge for these airline stocks, whether their demand is going to come back, whether they're going to be able to sustain all this global pandemic. So now I want to share another article with you guys where we will go over the CEO of Boeing and what he essentially said about the airline stocks. All right, guys, so here's the article. I will put a link down in the description below, but essentially it says, is American Airlines really bound for bankruptcy? So if you read further into the article, you will notice that Buffett's shares of AAL stock were included in the massive sell-off when the entire airline industry was falling. And the Oracle of Omaha didn't provide much specific guidance for investors, though Buffett did, however, say that the airline business, and I may be wrong and I hope I'm wrong, changed in a major way. So one person who made the financial headlines was the CEO of Boeing when he essentially predicted that by the end of 2020, a major airline will most likely have gone out of business. And why did he say that? It's because the CARES Act expires at the end of September. That is the financial aid. That is the relief program that was put in place by the federal government to offer some type of stimulus to all these airline companies. And that essentially expires at the end of September. So after that, all these companies are essentially on their own and they will need to find capital. They will need to raise capital in order to keep people on the payroll and not lay them off. And at the same time, meet those debt obligations that they have to keep them afloat and keep them up and running. So another key data point that is very relevant and important and worth sharing in this video, there's a report that says the American Airlines rate of cash burn is absolutely staggering. The airline is anticipated to lose $70 million a day through June. And then, in other words, over $2 billion a month or $6 billion a quarter in losses. So that is very, very significant. That is a lot of money that they're actually losing due to this global pandemic. All right, so now going over their pattern, we have already talked about where they were trading prior to COVID-19, around the $30 levels. And since then, they've dropped over 71%, trading at around $9.89. But even if you look prior to COVID-19, you can see this descending pattern that American Airlines was forming already. So it starts at the top left of my screen and it goes all the way to the bottom right, and they have been consistently making lower highs and lower lows, along with the fact that they have been trading below their 200 moving average, which is the blue line, and has acted as a very clear form of resistance for the stock multiple times that I can highlight for you guys, where the stock pushes up that level and then gets rejected and is not able to break out of that 200 moving average. So that is a very clear form of resistance for the stock. And more recently, it was at that level in early February. So again, pushes up, gets rejected by the 200 moving average, which is the blue line, and then pulls back all the way to the $9 level. And if you look further back, it has been making lower highs and lower lows. So you can see if you were to create some trend lines, we know that the stock is not going as high as it did the previous time. And in fact, it's actually going lower than it did the previous time. Now, another thing that I do want to mention from a technical standpoint is that it was forming this kind of descending triangle and a wedge that you can see on the screen. And usually when that happens from a technical standpoint, the stock usually breaks out or breaks down with massive volume. In the case of American Airlines, it actually broke below its support with massive increase in volume. So you guys can see this right here is the volume bar, and the white line you guys see is the average volume for the last 14 days. So with this COVID-19 volatility, we've seen an increase in volume and the amount of shares that are being traded for these airline stocks. And due to this increased volume, we've seen a massive sell-off, which has led to such a sudden change in direction for American Airlines. But it was also setting up for a breakout or a breakdown in either direction anyway from a technical standpoint. Now looking back further, there were times when it was trading kind of sideways. So if you look back in 2014 up until 2017, so that 3-year period, I feel like it was trading sideways and it wasn't really giving us a clear direction on where the pattern is going. Now we can recognize some key support and resistance levels based on previous patterns, that $27 level, as it's already bounced off of that level multiple times, and that level has acted as a good support, and some key resistance levels at around $55, which we can recognize right here. So if you go further back into the chart, back in 2011 up until 2014, the stock was actually doing really well and had an ascending pattern going up close to about 800% in value when it was first trading at around $4 or $5 a share and then going up all the way to $45 a share. So American Airlines has a stock pattern that has essentially seen all three phases of a pattern. It has seen an ascending pattern, so it's been going up in value and it's been increasing, making higher highs and higher lows. Then it entered into a consolidation phase where it was going sideways and started to trade within that range. And then after that, it started making a descending pattern and going down in value, making lower highs and lower lows. So if you were to zoom out and look at a weekly chart for the stock, you can identify that very clearly there were times when the pattern was going up. There were times when the pattern started going sideways, and then now there's times when the pattern is actually going down. So looking at it from a technical standpoint, if the travel demand ever comes back and American Airlines is one of those companies that doesn't go out of business and file for bankruptcy and is able to sustain this global pandemic, and we are able to find a vaccine, and then eventually people start flying again, travel demand comes back in. There's another report that I shared in my previous video where essentially the CEO of Boeing said that by the end of this year, we are hoping to get at least 50% of the travel demand back. Getting back to 100% levels of travel demand, that's going to take at least 3 to 5 years. So if American Airlines is able to sustain that level, I do see some type of consolidation sideways where the stock maintains that $8 level, which it's already hit the 52-week low, and then eventually starts its recovery all the way up to $55 if it ever gets to that level. But that is also very uncertain, and there's a lot of different factors that go into the stock price for American Airlines. But I wanted to give you guys a quick technical overview of what the pattern has been doing over the years and where I personally see the stock price going in the future. There's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of questions that we need answers for before we can even decide where the pattern is going to go in the future. But from a technical standpoint, I'm not going to be investing in this company anytime soon. I'm not going to be buying American Airlines. At the end of the day, I want you guys to do your own research and your own analysis when it comes to investing in the stock market. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and my breakdown of American Airlines. Definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really do appreciate you guys' support. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you guys in the next video.